Okay, so right now you're looking at Seneca Rocks, West Virginia. Very impressive topographic feature here in the Appalachian Valley and Ridge of the Appalachian Fold Thrust Belt. This is typically referred to as the Allegheny Structural Front because essentially at the foot of the very abrupt topography that you see here, the forelandmost thrust structure that is seen in surface outcrop today is exposed. Of course, it's down in a creek valley. It'd be very hard to find there. But to the west of this, in other words, further into the foreland, really beyond this structure, there are no significant thrusts in outcrop. There still is deformation in the foreland basin sedimentary units, but for all intents and purposes, this is the forelandmost limit of thrust faulting that's exposed at the erosional depth we see today. The feature you're looking at here is an essentially vertical bed of Silurian age sandstone. It's a Tuscarora sandstone. Really tough stuff. That's what's allowing it to stand there, is this fin of rock that you're looking at. The very resistant zone in it is quite thin. I don't actually know how thick it is here, but this is certainly a precarious structure. It's falling apart. If you do any climbing here, you always want to have a helmet on to be on the lookout for rock. Large pieces of it have fallen in the recent past, and they continue to fall really every day. It's a bright sunny day today. If you have a cool evening and a lot of daytime heating, you might well expect that to happen at any time. The reason that this is such an impressive feature today really has everything to do with the deep erosion, as well as the humid temperate climate that you have here in the Appalachian foreland. But to fully understand what this feature means structurally, we're going to have to travel just a bit to the south down the road and see if we can get a view that will allow us to see the ridge behind Seneca Rocks. Because the vertical bedding that we're looking at here is actually part of a structure whose back limb is still supporting that big ridge in the distance there. And it should be possible to find a perspective where we'll be able to see both of those features, and it'll give you a really interesting look at the scale of the large fold thrust structures that you see here in the Appalachians, and it will certainly put this big vertical feature that we see in front of us here into a more appropriate structural context.